I'm going to unmute. Is that better now? Is that better now? Sounds like it. To me, it sounds better. A little bit still. I don't know. I don't know what's causing the interference. Maybe it's because I'm on the phone as well. Let's leave that and see. All right. Yeah, I'm still getting crackles and pops. I don't know why. Is it really bad, Michaela? Your internet is being, weird or wired? I assume weird. Yeah, universe trying to talk. Yeah, you're right, Norma. Yeah. All right. So this point about we'll get into it another day. So I do want to continue reading a bit. It doesn't matter. We could do it now. Right. The language of the universe. It is a symbolic language, an abstract language, a metaphoric language. And also it is a language that is there to grab your attention. Therefore, it's anomalous, it's improbable, it's unusual. Something will draw your attention to what you want. Yes, other than the usual things that draw your attention. So out of the ordinary things, in other words. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful, Lindsay. Wonderful. Yeah, it can't be helped, Michaela. I know there's a lot of signal trouble. It can't be helped. As long as you can hear what I'm saying, yeah, more or less, right? Seems to be, because you're responding here. Brilliant. All right. So when we're paying attention, start to look at the abstract. Like like, all right, you watching a thing and you say, what do I really want to do? What do I really want to do? And you see an ad and it says, well, blah 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 blah. Some I don't know, ad for, let's say, a gym or something, and they say their jingle or their slogan is "Be the best you can be," and you're going along and you've seen this ad a zillion times before, but suddenly it jumps at you and you notice this. And well, obviously going to the gyms now, not necessarily an issue, but out of context is an abstract. You say, oh, wow, or let's say it's a hardware store slogan, be the best you can be, or whatever. Sometimes these things don't match, and they come and they penetrate and they grab your awareness, and then it starts to click. Yes, it's just how the brain works with emphasis. But the key is to emphasize the appropriate question and be aware that when we ask questions, don't expect singular answers. For instance, expect multiple answers. And in other words, get a little bit clear into what you're expecting, and then you'll get lots of answers. You get lots and lots of answers. Yeah, but you also have to clear your expectations out ahead of time. That's very important. Otherwise, we can get ourselves into trouble. Like, for instance, we say, what's my purpose? And you assume there's a single purpose. Now you biasing the results. Yeah? You already kind of corrupted the experiment before you started. Yeah. That one simple thing of not expecting singular answers only. It may be a single answer, but it might not be. So just be very careful when asking questions to not expect an answer. Typically, there's always more answers, always multiple answers, multiple perspectives, multiple paths, multiple options, almost always. So just be careful. Just be careful. All right. We are here where Sabastian is speaking, and he's talking about the angel Illumina. And he was explaining about imagination and how imagination is important, and how the angels don't necessarily have it because they don't need it. They have imagination, they're just out of practice, right? So they need to practice this. One of the challenges for angels that come and be mortals, right? We have to understand this in the story, in the myth. The angel is an angel deep inside, but on the surface and everything, the way they're behaving, their awareness, their thinking, as far as they're concerned, internally, if you put them on a lie detector and say, what are you, angel or a human? They'll say human, and it will come up true, right? So the influence of the angelness is subconscious, is very deep. right? And therefore it can cause problems with a human mortal agendas, right? If they're not aware this. Now you can become aware that you have that angel thing. You'll never know for sure, but you can become aware, right? It's just that moreness. Now the main point here is that none of this needs to be true for it to be valuable, right? Well, don't forget that. That'll come up later. Don't forget that. But here Sabastian says they have to be ruthless. Otherwise, they would not be able to do what is good for us, especially when that good is also not nice, when we aren't learning things the nice and fun way. Yeah. This is very important to understand. Learning is joy, is fun. If we do it willingly, if we stay with the program, if we keep updated and we pay attention and the universe brings us things we do, like this point about your passion. A lot of people get passionate about something, but they don't do anything about it. Now the universe says, oh, I'm not going to help you because, well, you didn't do anything. Okay. So you have to do, you have to do. And then, of course, you need to learn things. And if you're not learning, yeah, then the universe is going to say, hey, you need to learn. And it brings that again to you. If you again refuse, it just gets, every time it gets a little less nice until the universe says, hey, you know what? You need a bit kick in the backside to get you learning here. And that's what happens in life. Yes. That's what happens. We don't learn, we don't pay attention, and we just repeat the same nonsense. And you might institute this system on yourself. If I were to say to you, right, would you like a system where if you make a mistake and you don't learn and you just keep repeating it over and over and over again forever? So well, that would suck. That would suck big time, right? Life after life, you get stuck in the same stuff, and over and over, you do the same nonsense. Well, right, you say, well, how about now? Let's assume that you can have some input on this. You say, well, how can I change that? All right, well, let's put in a system there, fail safe, that if you keep repeating it, it gets worse, it gets worse, it gets worse until you learn. Huh? Wow, you say, oh, that's pretty cool. All right, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, see? When you think about it a little bit, it's what we want. Yeah, we want a system that forces us to learn. Doesn't take away choice though. But when things get a bit more miserable, well, your choice is be miserable or learn. In the end, you're going to learn anyway, right? But why do you have to be miserable to learn? Why can't you just get ahead of the system, stay with it, and be in tune with the whole system of learning, and make an effort to learn, get ahead, and then learning is joyful and fun. It's like, wow, okay, this is easy. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to struggle. It's a choice. It's a choice because we chose not to learn when we had the opportunity to learn. It's too much effort. I'm too tired. I got other things to do. You know, Hmm. What's more important than learning? Yeah, what? What is more important than learning? You could say it's fun and joy. Yeah, all right. Is your fun and joy, are you able to say that I can have my fun and joy and it's all the time and it doesn't impinge and it doesn't detract from my safety, my security, my evolution, my development? You say, well, I don't need to evolve. I'm having fun now. All right, yeah, but I'm vulnerable when I'm having fun. I'm not together, I'm not tight, right? Because, all right, I'm having fun, but it's in a bubble, right? As soon as something happens and something comes from outside, then I can't deal with it because I haven't learned, and then the fun and joy goes away, right? So are you able to sustain that fun no matter what? Okay. See, now you need to learn. You can have fun and learn, combine the two together, and you're covered on all bases. Very simple, right? Learn to have fun learning. Don't make learning stressful and work. This is BMN nonsense. This is a culture idea that's come about from terrible people who want to justify their own nonsense. No, it's terrible. This idea that learning is work and stressful. No, it's terrible. It's ridiculous. We don't start off this way. When we're children, this is everything in your brain says learn, 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 learn. And you love learning. You always want to know how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you, right? Why do we give that up? No reason to give it up. None, none, none. It's how we are. We are learning machines, right? And we are joy machines. When you put the two together, oh, wait a minute. Play. Play is the ultimate form of learning. Everybody wants to play. Yeah, play. Play and learn. Play and have fun, right? Make it all work together. Nonetheless, despite all this obvious sensibility, right? Many don't. They get foolish ideas into their head, like, oh, learning is stressful, learning is work, learning is a big deal. I can't learn. Learning is going to make me look stupid. Yeah, it's all ego, rubbish, and nonsense, right? So therefore, the angels have to be ruthless to push you when you are being absolutely ridiculously foolish. Yes. Right. And then he says, and goodness, right? She's an angel after all. Also, an extreme sophistication and sobriety, a very tough way to be when coupled with a commitment to impeccability, goodness, and joy. Right? She's trying to do a very difficult job, but she doesn't know it. And because she doesn't know it, it's difficult, right? Sabastian's eyes teared up. The angel Illumina is so precious and beautiful, exquisite in her innocent fragility, sweetness, pure sweetness. It is why she is known in heaven as sweetness. So there's a deep innocence to this particular angel, despite the sophistication. So a lot of contrast. And the reason for this is in the myths. The myths are magical in this way, that they don't necessarily always make a usual sense, but they make sense in the meta sense, in the overall point of view. Many are like this. I know many beautiful, innocent people who are nonetheless also sophisticated. Sometimes the innocence makes them naive. Other times they find a way to balance it, and they've learned to be strategic. They've learned to think about things. They've learned to have perspective shifting and zoom out their awareness for overview perspective. So they aren't naive, even though they're innocent, right? We can be both. We don't have to be naive if we are innocent. Yeah. It's a very, very, very complex point, but it's a big point, right? As one to understand. Right? But this angel represents very much most people that I know who are good people. Yes, like all of you here now. Lindsay, Rosie, Lindsay, why do I come here? Rosie, Michaela, Norma, Beena, all of you. Yes, you're all deeply good people. There's no doubt about that. No question about that. Does that mean you're always sensible? No, not necessarily. Yes. Does that mean you don't sometimes do foolish things? No, that doesn't mean that. Goodness doesn't mean we cannot be foolish. That's why we want more awareness. That's why we want to learn. Because we can be good and foolish. It's all about the awareness, all about the sobriety. It's all about the understanding, the overview perspective, all of these tools that we have, right? So we have to understand this. And that's why we want to learn. Why learning is so important. Why learning is a passion. Because we want to avoid stuff in our life that we don't want to be there, right? Very powerful. Very, very powerful. The young man smiled the sweetest, deepest smile of love and happiness, growing older as he did so. And from this I have learned trust. To trust and treat all as angels. To trust and treat all as angels. Biella's voice as Sabastian took on a special emphasis for the word trust. It's all we can do, really, to trust in our own goodness, to completely trust we are fine and well when we are our own impeccable selves, however limited that may seem to us. When we fully make peace with ourselves, we can just be. Then good can come. Then we can relax and have fun. Being doesn't mean that we don't learn. When you are being, you can still learn. Yes. And being doesn't mean that you're not doing. It's all part of your being is doing. Yes. Very important to understand this. Very important. But the trust in the system. And you trust that another is an angel, even if they're doing weird stuff. Right? This is an incredible trust, is it not? This is an incredible trust. Because now you are looking at them with a different filter, different lens. You say, wow, this person's not acting particularly nice here, but why are they doing this? Let's assume they're an angel and they're doing this so that I can learn something. Oh, it's just to make me be more strategic, to learn to separate, to learn to have patience, to learn to not take everything that people say as totally something that's personal and onto me. And even if it is personal, well, if it's rubbish, it's rubbish. I don't need to do it. Thanks, Joel. Thanks, Joel. You too, mate. You too. You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ah. This is really key, right? So much we can learn from difficult people, troublesome people, bad people even, right? I mean, just understanding that psychology, how that came about. Man, the more we understand, the more we know, the easier it is to deal with life, right? So we can learn from everything. So everything serves the purpose of learning. And if you assume this angel is there in your life to teach you this, now you have joy, you have fun, and you relate to the people differently. And when you treat someone as an angel, they're in your life to do good, right? Even if they don't think so, it changes the way they interact and relate to you. It's a very, very powerful thing, incredibly powerful. When we trust, when we deliberately trust, when we trust where we are choosing to trust, when we trust like that, we are being courageous. And here, Sabastian is going to make a big point about courage. Yes, it takes courage to live, to understand that. Yes, it takes courage to live. Be aware that courage has got this, what he's going to talk about now, right? So understand courage, and it's much easier to be courageous. Much easier. Yes. Yeah. All right. All right. No worries, Norma. No worries. No worries. When we trust, when we deliberately trust, when we trust where we are choosing to trust, when we trust like that, we are being courageous. For courage is nothing but deliberate trust. That tiny little feeling we have of things not being quite right, or of disquiet, or ill-at-easeness, or discomfort of some kind. That is the feeling which comes from being courageous. It's a check system, right? It makes sure that you don't run away with your trust. You don't trust foolishly. Yes, because if we don't trust without impeccability, we get foolish trust, little t trust. Oh, I just trust everything's going to be fine. I don't have to do anything. Yeah. See how well that works out for you, right? I see this all the time. Well, I just trust that things work out. Oh, it's a grand excuse for not doing anything, for being lazy, for being undisciplined, for being indulgent. No, doesn't mean that you can't. You got to do your part. You got to do your part, and being impeccable is about minimizing the chances of the unforeseen happening. It's about bringing your chances of risk to the absolute minimum. But there's a limit to how much we can do. At that point, that's when we trust, because it's the only thing left to do. Yes. And at that point, you've still got that little feeling of disquiet and discomfort. It's a reminder. It's a reminder that trust is risk. Yeah. Right. So there has to be discomfort with courage, because when we're being courageous, it's because there is some risk. Risk is threat. Risk should make us a bit uncomfortable. If not, we're fools. That discomfort is what keeps us alert, ready, alive. It's a necessary component of courage and of trust. Now leverage it, right? That little bit of a feeling, say, okay, I'm going to be alert. I'm going to be paying attention. I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm aware. I'm paying attention. We can take solace from that, says Sabastian. To know those odd feelings are the feelings which come from being courageous. Trust too is risk. Trust too is risk. Trust too is risk. He emphasizes this 3 times. Sabastian repeats this. Trust is also risk. You cannot trust without it being risk. That's why it is trust, because there's risk involved. But you don't want to trust with lots of risk. You want to trust only that when you have no other choice but to trust. You want to minimize the risk. Yes. The image of Sabastian and the angel Illuminator above Biella reflected these subtle nuances. It helps us especially When we find ourselves in situations which require us to trust our own goodness and sense of impeccability, we then have to make decisions and take actions which need us to be courageous. That feeling then comes to our aid. We know what we're in for and what it will be like. Then it's not so bad, really. Right? And this is a very big point here. When you know what's coming, it's much easier to deal with it. Yes? Now, take for instance, well, like you sitting at work there, la 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 la, na na na, you happily, jamming to your headset, whatever, doing your work. I don't know if you can have a headset at work, but let's just assume, right? And you're in your own little bubble doing all your own things. And suddenly here comes the boss, right? And proceeds to scold you and give you what for and just, rip you a new one. Panic, chaos, right? You're overwhelmed. It's dreadful. It's awful. It's now suddenly just you know what's going on. No clue, right? But you working there, you look up. Oh, here comes boss. Boss don't look happy. Okay, well, boss is heading my way. All right. Did I do something wrong? No, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm ready. Or if I did do something wrong, well, okay, I did it because of whatever. Right? You prepared. When you prepared, you can deal with things much easier than when you're unprepared. And when you willingly go into something, even better. Look, take, for instance, in the TV program Survivor, right? Every survivor, they always have the challenge where you got to eat the horrible food, yes, and the dreadful food. Now, under normal circumstances, those people they would never eat that food. This is yucky and horrible, and they wouldn't be able to even eat it. But because they willingly want to do it because they want to win, they want to get the prize, whatever, right? So now they are motivated. So that motivation makes them do what they ordinarily cannot do. And it's doable because they want to do it. Yeah. When we want to do things, it changes the way it is. Take, for instance, a secret agent or an undercover policeman that goes to jail to uncover the corruption in the jail, etc. Right? They're going to jail, for heaven's sake, but they want to do it because there's an importance to it. There's a necessariness to it. There's a rightness to it. And they're able to do it. They're able to do it and not suffer the way everybody else in jail suffers. It's not stressful and onerous the way it would be to somebody who's in there for punishment because they want to do it. We can do the most incredible things when we say, I want to do this. Yes? It changes the way we respond and react. It's a massive difference. It's a massive difference, right? When we really understand this, it changes our lives. Very, very powerful, right? That feeling then comes to our aid. We know what we're in for, what it will be like. It's not so bad, really, because we want to do this now. Then we can trust in the goodness of everyone. Sabastian's image smiled, a deep, wistful smile, full of love, right? And this is a big point here. Then we can trust in the goodness of everyone. It's there somewhere. It's just very buried. I learned this courage and trust from the angel Illuminator, the most trusting and courageous being I've ever known. Biella stood up. The visions of the angels disappeared. Lights in the amphitheater slowly came on. The end, Biella said, bowing a deep bow. Very cool, very cool, very cool, very cool, very cool. I just want to really repeat this point about trusting people to be angels and trusting your own goodness. But it has to be based on impeccability, which is best use of energy, which means being thorough, being disciplined, being scrupulous, being conscientious, making every effort you can. And also, not just to say, oh, but I'm doing my best. I hear this all the time. Yeah, but I did my best. That's not an excuse for anything. Your best may have been crap. Now you start crying. So, but yeah, but how do you improve on your best? Very simple. Learn. It's as simple as that. Often we have bests that are very crappy, right? Because we've never made the effort to learn really about the thing. So now you have this nice excuse. Yeah, but I did my best. Well, your best was very crappy because you didn't want to learn, and you know that you didn't want to learn, and you avoided learning, and then you just use this excuse. Yeah, but I did my best. Well, your best was crap. You got to do better. And the universe has little tolerance with bests that are not really your best, but are the best that's just because, well, you haven't made an effort to learn. Universe has little tolerance for this. I'm sorry, I see this all the time. People get smacked by life because they say, well, I did my best. Yeah, but your best was rubbish. Yeah, yeah. Your best needs to be genuine, and the best needs to be real. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's not. All right, because the signal is really bad and it's crackling and popping, I will leave then and end it here today. Yeah, yeah. All right, thank you, Norma. Michaela said the same thing. I'm assuming for you too, Lindsay, because Lindsay said her internet is being weird, but I think it's mine. Yeah, I think I have to quit the entire Zoom and reboot and do everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. All right, thank you, Beena. Beena, anything to say quickly before we go? I want to leave on this point because I want to start tomorrow. Yeah, on
Yeah.
Biella's postscript. Are you also hearing bad audio?
Yes, yes, it was not clear.
Yeah. All right. Well, then let's leave early then. Let's leave early then. All right. All right, all right. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know why it is doing that. It just sometimes does. Who knows why? Who knows why? Just the universe, see, paying attention to anomalies, right? And it changes the timing. I go with it. I roll with it. I want to continue. I'm keen because Beena's back now, and I wanted Beena to read. But hey, we go with things as they are. All right, all right. Anything to add, Beena?
I was just absorbing what you have just shared, and this question is still there. I'm curious about really want how to find how to get absolute clarity about what we really really truly want. I have learned about the
Excellent.
relationships, specifically about relationship, because I have been in discussion with some of my friends who have more experience than me. And when they were making their choice, it was like a list. And that list was just some cliches, some, of course, very unique things, but it was about things which I never uh, thought about. So they were saying, okay, the eye color, okay, that blue-eyed color, okay, yes, and then some were saying, okay, tall, dark, handsome. Some were saying something like that, and I was like, I was feeling a bit lost because I never think like that. For me, these are these I don't know, like, yeah, really. And then I started thinking about that. Okay, oh, so what about this tall, dark, handsome? What I'm going to do with this if a person is not impeccable? Yes, he might be very handsome, good looking guy, but it doesn't make any difference. At least not in the longer run. It doesn't make any difference. And then it was like with the eye color. It is not bad. I'm not saying that okay, these are not good things. Of course, it's our choice. But does it make difference? Because if a person is impeccable and not being blue eyes or green eyes or brown eyes, does it make any difference? No. But few things does make a lot of difference in our life. When a person
Yeah,
is not, it doesn't have that eagerness to update, they are going to stick where they are.
mm,
You might learn and grow, and then you are going to outgrow them, and we'll have no interest.
yeah,
Okay, so that is something that okay, if a person is keen and eager to learn and grow is so important for me.
yeah,
The other
yeah,
thing which might sometimes we might just ignore that, like how they how they treat themselves and how they treat things,
yeah,
not people, but how they treat things
yeah,
around them.
yeah,
It reveals a lot.
yeah,
It reveals a lot.
yeah,
But of course, they were nothing like this was in the list my friends shared with me.
yeah,
Nothing, which was really interesting for me. But of course, I'm no one to pass any judgment on that, because because I have never experienced that. Till
Hmm.
then, I cannot say anything about this. But at least I have some understanding that these things, these type of lists doesn't work the way we assume it will work. Even if we will get all these things, all the criteria meet, still it is not going to work the way it is exactly same as you were saying about Ferrari. I want to have one.
Right. Right.
To have a Ferrari, you need to have this thing, and then you have to have this thing, and then you have to have this thing, and all, and and then okay, everything comes with some responsibility,
Hmm.
and those responsibility. Am I willing to do this? Not really.
Hmm.
Mostly people, when girls, especially in my circle, it was a thing that, oh, that guy is really cool because he is so like kind of a bad boy image of like, oh, he's in the music, he's having a lot of girlfriend, and girls just falling over him. It shows a lot about us. Every choice we make, it's a revelation of who we are. It's not like those girls were bad, no, but they were in a victim mindset. They
Hmm.
need someone who can play a villainous role in their life so they can stay victim.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They
You
were
have to
not.
be careful of what you want. You have to be careful of what you want.
Exactly,
You may just get it.
exactly.
You may just get it. Yeah.
Exactly. And mostly that's why I say that sometimes we trigger by just being overly sensitive, overly cautious, and
Yeah.
overly eager about narcissism and BMNs. We actually cue other people, and we trigger that side in them. As human, we have all the capabilities, all the possibilities. That's why being deliberate is so crucial, because I have this ability and capability in me to become a BMN. We all have that. Like I always say, like, okay, commit a murder, the capability, the possibility is there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to exercise it. This is where I am who I am. And
Yeah.
same with we all have this capability and this ability and this possibility inside us to become a BMN, to act like a BMN.
Hmm.
But the key for me is to not go there where it might get triggered. To avoid that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just sharing a lot of things, and then we will come
Oh,
back.
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I want to add a quick point to what you're saying
Yes.
with
Yes, please.
relationships. Most
Yes.
most assume that your partner, your relationship is about likes. You've got to like the same things. But when you
Oh
actually
God,
think about this, it's totally irrelevant. You know, Beena likes lentils. I
that's
can't stand lentils.
counterproductive.
It matters nothing what you like. What matters in terms of being with people and spending time, it matters what's important to them. Like for Beena, what's important is learning. What matters to me is learning. Awareness, impeccability, sobriety, decency, politeness, courage, discipline, etc., etc., etc. When those things overlap, it doesn't
Yes,
matter that we like different things. Yeah,
absolutely,
it's
absolutely. And
it's not an
I
issue.
cannot stand anyone continuously like for my whole life who is exactly like me. No, I'm already
Exactly.
bored with myself.
Exactly.
I'm
So
already
we
having this
want
person.
some difference. We want
Yes,
some difference, but the
I
things
am
that
enough for
truly
myself.
matter, exactly, the things that truly matter, they are what's important, right? So pay attention, in other words, pay attention to what truly matters to you, and then find somebody else who's has the same about what truly matters to them. And you'll find that it's not very hard to find people to connect to. There's
Oh,
plenty people, yeah,
it's
where
not about a
what matters.
specific, it's about a bigger picture. It's about a abstract
Exactly,
perspective,
exactly,
which needs to be
exactly,
on the
exactly.
same. You need to not only have to be on same page, but on the
Yeah,
same wavelength. And
Exactly.
that really matters a lot. Specifics, yeah, they can
Exactly.
come and go.
Exactly.
I have seen
Exactly.
that some of my friends, we were exactly like
Wow.
same. We both were same, and
Wow.
that was horrible for other people. They were doing the matchmaking for me. Like, oh, it's like amazing. You guys have such an amazing chemistry. Oh my God, this is blah 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 blah. But I never
No.
feel that because I'm already enough for myself. I have been
No.
spending my whole life with myself. Come on, now I need
No.
some change if I really want to. So I need a different person who can inspire me to grow, who can inspire me
No.
to be more. Okay, yes, so we can explore more things.
No.
Okay, having exactly same thing, we were almost always fighting. Me and my friend, he was my best friend at
Mm.
the time. But people just make it like really horrible for me because it was always a pressure that, oh, he's the one, he's the one. No, he was not.
Wow. Interesting.
It was not. And it was nothing like that in between us. But it just they just make it so awkward for me.
Mm.
It was always a stress and like always like, okay, I had to continuously denying something, and I was not able enough like at that time to do that. But anyway, me and he were exactly same.
Mm.
Our choices were same. Our reactions, our responses were same. We
Wow.
and that's why we fight,
Yeah.
because everything what he was about to say, I just jump into say and say the same thing. And when I was about to do something, he already did. So it was like, it was horrible to be with him when we were doing projects
Why?
together,
Why? Why?
working together.
Why? And also, if you with somebody who does the same things, thinks the same ways, how are you going to learn?
Exactly.
Yeah. When you realize that you have tons to learn from each other, and this is where your joy lies. Now you're in tune with the universe. The universe typically puts people together because they need to learn stuff. Now, of course, when you need to learn and you haven't made the effort to learn on your own, then it can be a bit not so fun. But it can be incredible fun when you are interacting and you are in relationships with those that the things that you need to learn, you enjoy learning. Yes,
Yes.
it's incredible. It's incredible. It's just brilliant. It's just too brilliant. Fantastic. All right. We said we're going to end and then we kept going, but it's all good.
Yes, and
I
then we
love it.
get into a whole not new,
That's
new
how it
discussion.
goes. That's how it goes. It's the magic of it. That's the magic of it, right? It's the magic of it. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I learn so much from Beena every day. It's amazing.
What? I'm here to learn.
Well,
I'm here
so
to
am
learn.
I. So am I. See, we learn from each other. I learned from Norma. I learned from Michaela. I learned from Lindsay. I learned from everybody. Everybody can be learned from. It's a skill. It is a profound skill that can be developed and trained. Right? On that note, I'll leave it right there. Learn to
Okay.
learn the skill of learning and how to learn from
Yes.
everybody. Incredible skill.
Yes. Oh,
Incredible skill.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. See you tomorrow. See you
Okay.
tomorrow. See you
Yes.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye for now, everyone.
Yes. Yes. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.